Hey, welcome back, everybody. So, the rules have just updated where now, for standard, you are playing a 50 card main deck, which for a lot of decks is kind of a struggle because a lot of them don't really like, there's stuff they could throw in, but they're like, I don't really care as much to have in the deck. Whereas, like, the entire like Stokia nation is like, thank God we have four more cards. It's just a little more consistency we can do stuff with. So probably the best deck that I think is getting upgraded to 50 cards is my personal favorite, which is Zorga. So I'm going to do a quick profile on what I've been testing and what I've personally liked for this new change, and I'll go over like a couple changes that you could make, but we'll just start off with the pretty basic stuff. You have the Dream Nibbling, the goaded starter, the Ranker Chain, the Black Tears Husk Dragon, and then the Blue Zorga. The This ride line for most of the Stokia decks really doesn't change ever because it's just been so good since set one, and like I don't know how you pass this up for anything else. Blue Zorga still because I think there are a lot more situations where the counter blast to bring something back comes up than just trying to grab an order back from drop zone with red one. So we keep on the blue one, and that is it for the ride deck. Nothing crazy. Moving on to the grade threes. So we have four copies of Zorga Mask. This is obviously the best card in the deck. It makes the deck pretty much work. And then the four, ooh, not down there. Come back here. The four copies of Roaming Prison Dragon. Uh, Looks a little different than the ones I used to have, but it's pretty. So these are all the grade threes you really need. There is argument that you could play one extra Zorga to activate Zorga Mask skill to like remove a Zorga from the fight. But the thing that I've found from all of my playtesting is the moment that I need to remove a Zorga from the fight, I only need to do it once. If I need it more than once, I'm really behind in the game, and there's a good chance that I'm just not winning that game, even if I have it. So I'm not gonna throw in the extra potential brick. But if you wanted to play it, you could play it. I just personally do not think, in the current situation, that we need to worry about playing the extra Zorga. Which also, by the way, the taboo Zorga got revealed. Ooh, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be pretty cool. That's it for our grade 3s. Moving on to our grade 2s, slightly bigger than before, but not by much. We have four of the Best Boy Shadow Cloak. He's going to grab any order, and he's going to let you kind of filter for defense, which is really nice. Um, this card probably will never drop down from four copies. I can't see a world where that happens. One copy of not Keel Severing, Depth of Welly. Depth of Welly is a little weird because obviously you'd think like, well, you could just like play like another mask or something. This card's kind of not necessary, but this is like the extra bit of consistency to the deck, so I'd rather have that extra bit. If you were looking to play the extra Zorga because you feel like it's consistent enough, you could swap this out for it, but I value it way too much, and I'm up to two copies of Keel. I think I was at one before this change, but I wanted to add the extra one just because I feel like it's nice to see it a little more now, because the deck just feels like you go through it very quick now, especially with the new card, which we're going to go into, because that is our first grade 1, which is going to be, if I could pick these cards up, we have four copies of Conceited Noble Philander. Now, Philander is kind of like I don't want to say he's like a custom card, but he just makes the deck feel so good. So he's on play from hand. You look at your top five, send one to the graveyard, shuffle the rest back to the deck, and then he has a continuous. If you have 10 or more cards in graveyard, which is really easy to get with this deck, he gets an extra 10k. So he's an 18k booster, and he lets you kind of look through your deck and find what you want in your graveyard, right? So you're hitting orders that you don't want, or that you would probably only play once, give or take, right? Like if you see like this off of your top five, you're just gonna straight mill it unless you see a Prison Dragon. So Prison Dragon, it's just a really good form of like deck thinning in general, because You can just call it, get rid of all of the unimportant stuff, and then slowly get to more triggers. It also, what was the other important thing about this guy besides him? I think it's just him being an 18k booster. Honestly, like you, the boosters beforehand weren't super great, but like they had like the utility, which was really cool. But like raw power is just kind of nice in this deck. We are still on 2 copies of Bist Alvis. I like him for, obviously you need him for the Dragon Tree marker to make Keel live, but I like him because there are some games where I'll be like, oh, I have enough resources to just grab an order back from graveyard. So it's very important to have that. And then the most important part of the not the most important part, but it's like pretty important, is we're on 4 regular perfect guards. I think when Shiranui and Luard come out, we can go back to running the one Elementaria, but I think just being able to like deck thin, grab it, and then Shadow Cloak's gonna grab it back to your hand. It's just way too important, especially with like Youthberg like hitting for ungodly numbers, turn 4 Leonoran slapping super hard, Drajul just existing. It's just good to have recurable perfect guards, which is kind of why I'm still on this. But again, once the meta changes and we have those stride decks in the format, I think it definitely you change one out for an Elementaria Sanctitude. But otherwise, that's the current uh, just main units. And then going in order of grade, we have one Forbidal. This will let you grab your Zorga and let you grab your Prison Dragon, and then Shadow Cloak is going to just bounce them back to your hand. It's really good. Like someone was telling me that it's more important to have like the Grail for an extra Persona ride, and I was like, I'd rather just like turn 1 get a really good setup, and then or my first grade 3 turn get a really good setup, and then the next turn I kill you. Like it's a lot easier to do it like that. We have 2 copies of the mask. You have to play the mask. This will let you go into Zorga Mask. We don't need any more than 2. I don't think. I know other mask decks, at least that I've tested, have wanted like the extra mask now that we have 50 cards, but like this deck is fine. The two mask we can see 2 masks pretty easily, especially because like Shadow Cloak gets rid of it, Depth searches it, you can hit it off Philander. Like you got a lot of options to hit it. And I'm now playing 1 copy of Clouded Miasma, and it's kind of interesting. The logic is before I was playing the Gather Upon Me Wandering Souls, which was really good, right? But there have been a couple games where I've noticed that I've been getting a little more extra counterblast, and I want to kind of push harder. So Clouded Miasma has been able to help me with that. We're back on the 1 copy of Tearful Malice. I wasn't playing it for a little bit because it just didn't feel super good, but now it feels like you're able to just kind of get more value off of it, and especially with the extra deck space. 1 copy of In the Dim Darkness Frozen Resentment. I mean, this card's pretty good. It's not the greatest grade 1 order, but it's really good, right? You're gonna Celeste 1, look top 3, send 1 to graveyard, and then bring a guy back. It's just kind of nice. And then 3 of the best order in Stokia, which is the Mythiarch Habitat. Oh gosh, it's hard to get all of you on screen there. There we go. Still no. There we go. Close enough. Um, I don't think. I think if you have the ability in Stokia to run this card, you absolutely run it. There haven't been too many decks that I've tested where you just have a reason not to play 4 of them unless you're on a budget. If you're on a budget, by the way, like you could fit in more copies of this, I guess. It just doesn't feel as good to hit off this, but I mean, if you're on a budget, what are you gonna do, right? But we have that new promo tournament promo cycle where this is getting reprinted as a full art. People's chances to pick them up. And then triggers have stayed the same. We play the Bless Favor because I value the heal and the critical versus just having a Prison Dragon attack twice. Like, if I'm going to hit it, I want something that's going to keep me in the game just a little bit longer. 4 crits, 4 more crits that are just going to be off to the side. No big deal. right? Effect crits are still very important. 3 copies of the draw, effect draw, and 4 copies of the heal. The I'm gonna say like probably once I get like a better feel for how this season coming up is going to be, I will switch to some effect heals because it's kind of getting a little more linear, right? Because Youthberg's gaining a crit, Drajul is gaining a crit, Leonorin is restanding, Drajul is restanding. You could probably do like a 2-2 split of each of the effect heals, but I'm not 100% certain on where everything's going to line up, especially with the Stride decks coming out. So we will just have to test and see. But I mean, that's like in a month, give or take. So whatever, if you found a effect trigger ratio for the heals that's been working for you, I say go with that. That's all. That's it for this one. Not like a whole lot's changed besides the extra 4 cards, right? I feel like this deck's just gotten insanely good from it, just having that little more deck space to fit like good text in and stuff like that. So that's gonna do it for this one, and I will hopefully catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment because I love hearing your thoughts. Peace.